All right, listen up, Legends fans. The meta has evolved, and it's more ruthless than ever. Today, I'm bringing you the definitive tier list that cuts through the hype and gets straight to the truth. Who's dominating the battlefield? Who's fallen off the radar? And which units are secretly climbing the ranks? From devastating ultras to clutch Legends limited units, this list isn't about playing favorites, it's about facts. Get ready because we're ranking them all and no punches are pulled. Let's dive into the chaos that is the current DB Legends meta. So, first up, we've got the fan service tier. And let me tell you, this one's special. These are the characters that might not even come close to the top 10 competitively, but the community absolutely loves them. They're the units that people just can't help but bring into battle, not because they're the best, but because they represent something we all adore about Dragon Ball. Let's talk about why this tier even exists in my list. I feel like in a game like DB Legends, it's not always just about who's the strongest or the most meta relevant. Sometimes it's about nostalgia, about how much you love a character, or even just how cool they look in the game. Units in this tier bring back memories. They remind us of iconic moments from Dragon Ball Z, Super, or even the movies. They might not dominate PvP anymore, but they're still a big part of why people enjoy playing this game. For example, take someone like Vegito Blue, the original Legends Limited version. Back in the day, this guy was a beast. He absolutely ran the meta. Now, sure, his kit doesn't hold up against all these new Ultra units or even Zenkais, but fans still love him. Why? Because he's Vegito Blue. The character itself carries so much hype that people will use him just to see that legendary finish or to relive that amazing moment from the anime. Then you've got characters like Ultra Rose Goku Black. This is a character that hits hard emotionally for fans of Dragon Ball Super. Rose's moveset, his animations, and that Ultra intro are just straight up fire. Even though he's not meta anymore, people love using him just because of how stylish and iconic he is. The character's vibe alone makes him a fan favorite. Now, another big reason this tier exists is for the casual players. Not everyone plays this game just for PvP rankings or to keep up with the meta. There's a huge part of the community that just loves collecting and using their favorite characters. Some players build teams purely for fun. And you know what? That's what makes DB Legends so great. You can enjoy the game in so many ways, and these fan favorite units are a big part of that experience. And honestly, let's not ignore how cool some of these characters are visually. Even if they're not strong, they've got amazing animations. Characters like Gogeta Blue had one of the best legendary finishes for his time. You'd land that LF, and it felt like you were in the movie. So yeah, this tier isn't about strength. It's about heart. It's for the units we all love to use, even if they're outdated. It's about celebrating what makes Dragon Ball so special to all of us, whether it's the nostalgia, the hype, or just how much fun they are to play. These characters deserve a spot on the list. And that's why I made the fan service tier. It's not just for the competitive players, it's for the fans, the collectors, and the people who play this game simply because they love Dragon Ball Legends and everything it represents. Let me know in the comments if you agree with the units I've placed here and tell me which of your favorite characters you'd add to this tier. Before we dive into the main rankings, let's talk about the honorable mentions. These are the characters who just fall outside of the top 10, but they're still strong contenders in their own right. While they might not be considered top tier, they have some key strengths or unique abilities that can make them shine in specific situations. They might not break into the top 10, but they deserve recognition for their performance and potential. Let's take a look at a few of these standout units that are right on the edge of the top 10. First up in our honorable mentions is Tamagami. He's a character that's clearly struggling in today's meta, especially against the likes of Ultra Beast Gohan and Ultra Majin Vegeta. Being a purple character, he faces a tough time going up against the strongest yellow units in the game right now. But here's the catch. Green characters are dominating the meta, and that gives Tamagami a unique position. In a green-green-yellow setup, Tamagami becomes an absolute nuisance. He has the potential to severely disrupt the flow of the battle, especially for your green units. His abilities can make it hard for your greens to do their job effectively, as he targets them directly and limits their performance. What's even better is that Tamagami works incredibly well when paired with Daimagoku, a character who's a strong counter to the yellow units dominating the meta. Together, they form a powerful duo that complements each other, creating a balanced strategy to deal with the current top threats. While Tamagami may not be top tier on his own, in this dynamic, he can make a serious impact, forcing opponents to adjust their tactics. He may not be breaking into the top 10, but if you're running a strategy that incorporates Tamagami, he can still make waves and disrupt the opposition with his synergy alongside Daimagoku. Next up, we've got Mr. Shin. Who would have thought that a sparking character from 6th Anniversary Part 1 would be this good? Shin may seem unassuming at first, but he quickly becomes a huge nuisance in any team. His abilities make him an absolute disruptor in battle. Shin's kit revolves around locking cards in a way that completely messes with your opponent's strategy. When he uses strike arts, he locks strike cards, forcing your opponent to rethink their attack choices. When he uses blast arts, he locks green cards, blue cards, and blast arts, shutting down multiple aspects of their game plan at once. This makes him incredibly annoying to deal with, especially for teams that rely on card flexibility. On top of that, Shin generates extra cards for other characters on your team, helping to keep up the pressure. His ultimate arts also has a paralysis effect, adding a potential status ailment that can completely cripple an opponent during critical moments. While he's not quite top tier, Shin is a fantastic disruption unit who can throw off your opponent's rhythm. He's a solid pick if you're looking to create chaos in the match and make your opponent feel like they're constantly one step behind. Next up, we have Ultra Gohan. We all know how ridiculous this guy is. He's one of the most oppressive units Dragon Ball Legends has ever seen. His toolkit is absolutely stacked. Ultra Gohan has a counter gauge for strikes and melee blue cards, and he even has a comboable blue card, which adds more utility to his already dangerous kit. His counter blue card can nullify almost anything except for Rising Rushes and Beast Gohan's special beam cannon. With the release of Beast Gohan, Ultra Gohan gained even more value. His endurance can't be nullified by Majin Vegeta's ultimate, which gives him an edge in critical moments. Not to mention, he also provides armor-piercing blast cards for his teammates, further enhancing his overall utility. On top of all that, when he's last man standing, Ultra Gohan nullifies the opponent's endurance permanently, making him an even more dangerous finisher. This makes him a strong candidate for the top 10, and while he didn't quite make it there, he definitely belongs in the honorable mentions and can easily be debated as number 10. All right, now that we've gone over the honorable mentions, let's get into the good stuff, the top 10. These units are the cream of the crop. They've earned their place at the top for a reason, whether it's because of their incredible damage output, their utility in battle, or their ability to shift the tide of the match. The top 10 characters are the ones that define the current meta, consistently dominating in PvP and proving time and time again why they're considered some of the best in the game. Whether you're building a top tier team or just want to know who's worth your chrono crystals, these are the units you need to pay attention to. Let's kick things off with our 10 pick. On number 10, we have Gogeta Blue, and let me tell you, this guy has undergone a massive power boost with his Zenkai. Many players may underestimate him, but he's much stronger than people realize. His counter is godlike. If you land it, it's essentially a death sentence for your opponent's character. His ranged blue card deals an incredibly high amount of damage, making it a great option to finish off enemies from a distance. He also has control over the opponent's movements. If they do a strike cancel, you can punish them with his blue card. If they try to use a blast card from long range, he can easily land his blue card in response. Even if they try to tackle you from mid-range, just counter with his green card. Additionally, Gogeta Blue's cover change locks blast cards, which is a great way to break out of combos from characters like Vegito Blue or Super Saiyan 3 Goku, giving him a huge advantage in those scenarios. When his health goes below 50%, he triggers a disruption effect, healing himself, reducing the opponent's ki, destroying their cards, and increasing the cost of their arts. This essentially stops combos dead in their tracks, giving you the chance to regain control of the fight. Lastly, when he's last stand, he gets an extra ultimate arts card, and that ultimate is devastating. Type neutral and capable of one-shotting any unit in the game. He becomes a serious threat when pushed to his limits. With all these buffs and powerful tools at his disposal, Gogeta Blue has cemented his place at 10. He's a disruptive force, a counter-heavy fighter, and a deadly finisher all in one. At number 9, we have the newest LF tag, Gohan and Trunks. Now, don't judge me for placing them. They definitely have their strengths, but I can't rank them any higher than this. And at most, they could maybe be at 8, but not above that. They're a great asset to their team, keeping hybrids incredibly safe. Their damage output is fantastic, and they play their role very well when it comes to offensive pressure. However, there are significant drawbacks that hold them back from climbing higher on the tier list. One of the biggest issues is their tankiness. Despite having high stats, their defensive performance isn't impressive, especially in comparison to other top tier units. They lack cover null on entry in 2025, and while they have a unique gauge and green cards for cover null, it's not the same as having it built in when they enter the battlefield. Without this cover null on entry, you can't immediately start a combo when the opponent initiates with a cover change, which hurts their early game viability. Um, I know that they have defensive neutrality for 5 to 10 timer counts, but once Vegito Blue, Super Saiyan 3 Goku, or even Majin Vegeta starts to combo you, those buffs will be long gone and you're left with less utility. This makes them struggle in longer, sustained fights where tanking is crucial, as their defensive capabilities fade quickly. So while Tag Gohan and Trunks are fantastic in terms of damage output and team support, their lack of cover null on entry and struggles with tankiness hold them back from being ranked higher in 2025's meta. At number 8, I have Ultra Turles. Being blue, he's losing a lot of value right now, especially as the current meta is dominated by green units. However, I ranked Turles higher than Tag Gohan and Trunks because his comeback mechanic is far superior to their succession mechanics. With the movie's tag getting some solid buffs, Turles can be run alongside Ultra Beast Gohan, and together they can make a solid team. You'll face 90% of green characters in your matches, and that's where Turles' comeback mechanic gives him another chance. His first life is easily wiped out by a combo from Vegito Blue, Super Saiyan 3 Goku, or even God Goku, which is definitely a downside. But after his comeback, he goes type neutral defensively, giving him a bit of extra longevity. His ultimate can deal a good amount of damage, and during his comeback, he can cripple his opponent by taking their key cards and vanish, giving him an advantage in the right situation. One thing to note, though, is that you cannot defeat Turles if you're the last man standing and haven't popped his comeback yet. His comeback mechanic saves him from incineration by providing him with extra protection. He needs a purple ally to protect him from those oppressive green units, but unfortunately, he doesn't have that kind of backup, which puts him at a disadvantage in the current meta. Still, the comeback mechanic and his synergy with Ultra Beast Gohan give him the edge over Tag Gohan and Trunks, placing him at number 8. And we have LF Vegito Blue. I don't really need to explain what this unit does. He can combo you so long that you could leave your phone, go eat, sleep, and then wake up to still see him going at it. Vegito Blue was the first unit to efficiently counter auto gauges, and he's still the only one who can single-handedly shut down Majin Vegeta. However, things changed a bit after Beast Gohan was released. People started to focus more on countering Beast Gohan than Majin Vegeta, and now we're seeing Beast Gohan more often in matches. Vegito Blue does decently against Beast, but can't do much in the long run. While he has two main abilities that help with canceling attribute downgrades to deal with Beast Gohan's card cost, once that's done, he can't keep up his combos for long enough. As players start using more units that can counter Beast, Vegito Blue's overall usage has gone down. Still, his ability to keep opponents locked in combos and his sheer versatility make him a powerful unit. At number 6, we have God Goku, a unit that was considered terrible before receiving his platinum equipment. He was initially released alongside Ultimate Gohan, who was dominant at the time. However, just 2 weeks later, Ultra G4 dropped, completely overshadowing him. After gaining his platinum equipment, God Goku experienced a massive glow up. He is immune to Beast Gohan's card cost, has an AoE green card, and even blocks the opponent's AoE green. His Vanish Restoration is one of the best in the game, and he has the ability to remove buffs, meaning his endurance cannot be nullified. Additionally, he heals whenever the enemy uses a blue card or ultimate, and he has double card draw speed as well as type neutrality after his unique gauge procs. His ultimate damage is incredibly high and can one-shot nearly any unit. His ranged blue cards also limit the opponent's movement, forcing them to play more defensively. And being green, he is pretty safe in this meta, giving him an edge in many matchups. At number 5, we have Daima Goku. He does really well to counter those yellow units. His green cards give him health and a blue card, and when he uses it, he locks the opponent, which often leads to them just dying. He has super high damage dealing blue cards that can literally one-shot. However, he can never kill Majin Vegeta, as he cancels buff effects, and he also can't tank very well. He's just okay at tanking. He also nullifies the opponent's AoE green. Daima Goku can gain endurance if the opponent uses a rush, and also removes buff effects. His super powerful ranged ultimate is a great tool, and it's something Beast Gohan cannot counter. 4 and number 3 will be interchangeable as we have Gotenks and transforming Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Let's talk about Gotenks first. He fits incredibly well in a hybrid Saiyan team, and he also has endurance, which makes the team super safe. As a red unit, he counters yellow units effectively. He has very long combos and Vanish Restoration on his green cards, plus he supplies infinite green cards. When he uses his green card, he also destroys 3 strike cards, which can really annoy the opponent. He can nullify endurance on his main ability, allowing him to just Rising Rush Majin Vegeta and kill him. Gotenks can also be run in a Majin Buu Saga team alongside transforming Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Majin Vegeta. Together, they can combo you to hell. He will be generating green cards, which will supply Majin Vegeta, allowing him to go on a rampage. Now let's talk about transforming Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Before his transformation, he's not that great. He doesn't even have cover null. But once he pops a green card, he gains that ability. After his transformation, he becomes a combo machine and can chain combos to the point where you might end up forfeiting the match. He can also remove endurance after entering the battlefield for 15 timer counts, which is a huge advantage. However, he is vulnerable to Majin Vegeta's gauge and can be locked in and killed. Despite this, he's an excellent counter to Beast Gohan as he is immune to his card cost effects. Who will be Ultra Beast Gohan. He is a monster in PvP. He can literally one-shot any unit with his blue cards. His green card allows him to fetch blue cards, and honestly, who came up with the idea of gaining Dragon Balls from blue cards? It's crazy. He has a decent long combo, and when he enters the battlefield, he's defensively neutral for 10 timer counts, making him hard to hit early on. When his health drops below 50%, his Disrupt will proc, effectively breaking the combo. He has a Rising Rush and Ultimate counter, and once those happen, he deals insane damage. His ultimate also has AoE damage of 50%, making him a serious threat. Every time he's hit, he increases the arts cost of his opponents, which is a huge advantage. He also has a snipe ability that can one-shot any opponent if used correctly. The snipe ability is none other than Special Beam Cannon. Lastly, he's type neutral on his main ability, but it only lasts for 5 timer counts. We've seen some incredible units so far. Characters that can obliterate anything in their path, others who can chain combos for days, and a few that can change the outcome of the match with just one card. But now, it's time to talk about the one unit who completely changes the game. This fighter doesn't just bring insane damage. He brings a perfect blend of offense, defense, and utility that makes him a nightmare for any opponent. With the power to break through any defense, nullify endurance, and hit like a truck with his ultimate, he doesn't just compete, he dominates. There is no other unit in the game right now that can do what this one does, and certainly not at this level. The number 1 spot isn't for just any powerful character, It's for the unit that redefines what it means to reign supreme in PvP. So, without further delay, brace yourselves for the most unstoppable force in the game, the true definition of power, Ultra Majin Vegeta. Ultra Majin Vegeta is indeed a force to be reckoned with in Dragon Ball Legends, and his abilities make him a complete game changer. His insane card draw speed allows him to maintain long and devastating combos, keeping opponents on the defensive and unable to escape. His AoE green cards, combined with his ability to be type neutral for 10 timer counts, give him the flexibility to counter any situation. His unique gauge is a game changer as well, as it counters blast cards and grants him a blue card, allowing him to continue his combo pressure. Plus, when the gauge is full and he uses a blue card to get green cards, giving him more ways to extend his onslaught. When his health falls below 50%, Ultra Majin Vegeta heals and destroys the opponent's strike cards, forcing them into a blast-only situation, making them helpless but to use the blast cards. He even increases strike cost when he hits the opponent with his blast, further limiting the opponent's options, making it even harder to mount a comeback. One of his most impressive features is his ability to cancel off buff effects from blue and ultimate arts, nullifying any attempts to stop his endurance and making him nearly impossible to counter once he's in his stride. His locked-in ultimate arts is a deadly tool that can wipe out most characters unless Beast Gohan is able to remove buffs from standby. Even against Vegito Blue, who might seem like a counter, Ultra Majin Vegeta has the potential to turn the tables with a well-timed ultimate and eliminate him. To top it off, he has 50% AoE damage, which further amplifies his threat across the battlefield, giving him an edge in almost every situation. And when he enters the battlefield, his ability to increase the opponent's subcounts by 2 increases the likelihood of landing a sniping attack, making him an even more dangerous adversary. Ultra Majin Vegeta truly embodies the role of a dominant, unstoppable force in Dragon Ball Legends, with an ability set that forces the opponent to always stay on their toes. That's my full breakdown of the current Dragon Ball Legends meta. From the top tier threats dominating PvP to the fan favorites we all love, this tier list represents how I see the game right now. A huge shout out to Dinjee for inspiring the structure of this list. It wouldn't be the same without his insights. What do you think of my placements? Agree? Disagree? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more DB Legends content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.